Hello, Mike DePung here on Spirit Hill. Spirit healing in and into love and light and darkness too, because it's part of who we are. And that's what I want to talk to you about for a little bit today. I want to share a poem that I wrote that is my expression of spirit to you. I would like to preface it by saying a few things. When I grew up in the age of, during the time of Vietnam, of course, war and the protests against it and the issues concerning it were a big deal, as they should have been. It was also the time of the civil rights movement and the attempted ending of racism and the attempt to equalize what should have always been equal. But that didn't occur it hasn't occurred completely. I have a lot of feelings and emotions about all of this, and I don't want to go deeply into any of it except to say this. In the poem that I'm going to read and the things that I express, I make these comments and offer this poem with the idea that I'm speaking in general terms and not in specifics, although the general terms apply to specifics in my life. But you will understand when I read the poem what I'm going to say. I feel very strongly about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. As an empath, I have felt the sorrow, I have felt the confusion and the fear, not only on the part of the Ukrainians, but also those Russians who have been lied to, like so many politicians and autocratic type leaders, those who are only focused on things like the bottom line that they offer, that they use to mislead and to misguide people. And in some ways, I'm very concerned about social issues, but the essence of it is what I believe about who and what each of us are, no matter who it is. That we are expressions of spirit incarnate. We have ego and heart. We came here, in my opinion, we came here to live through heart energy so that we as spirit, as an expression of spirit, we can appreciate all of this, find joy, experience the beauty, the harmony of this middle world, of this earth, of the physical world, and learn to live in respect and balance with the elements here, with Mother Earth herself, with one another, with ourselves, within ourselves. And there are unseen worlds that inspire all kinds of literature and poetry and philosophy and science, that unseen worlds and unseen energies that are all about us that can be known right here. And so it is that I want to just share a few things that center on this. When I was a child and I saw these things going on, the issues concerning war and the issues concerning racism, I thought, I'm just a little white boy. I'm still just a little white boy. It seemed like I didn't belong to anything in particular in the big picture. And that's what brought about this poem that I'm going to share. I actually watched a documentary a couple weeks ago about the Harlem Cultural Festival that was held in the summer, over 6 weekends in the summer of 1969. Never heard of it. Heard of Woodstock, but never heard of this. And it brought back a lot of these emotions. So I'm going to share that with you. I hope all of that makes sense. I'm not 100% sure, but that's okay. I do want to share a couple of things that I shared on Facebook that are quotes from other people. And I'm going to read it kind of in the tone that Woody Guthrie would have used when he said this. I would like to see every single soldier on every single side just take off your helmet, unbuckle your kit, lay down your rifle, and sit down at the side of some shady lane and say, nope, I ain't gonna kill nobody. Plenty of rich folks wants to fight. Give them the guns. And then the relatively well-known quote from Jimi Hendrix, who was at Woodstock and who was from when I grew up. People kind of value and shoot around this quote right now from him, but not very many people in those days would have invited him into their home to have a meal with him. And this is what Jimi Hendrix said: when the power of love overcomes the love of power, then the world will know peace. With those things as a preface to this and my thoughts, I want to read this poem. Pretty simple words. I just hope that your heart will connect with this here on Spirit Hill, that it will tend to healing. Here it is. Obviously, I have to read it, so I'm not going to be looking directly into the camera. I am no one's brother. I am no one's brother, it seems, no right to call another such, or to expect anyone to denominate this white-skinned me as one. Siblings share life, at least to start, on a most intimate level. Has this white man ever felt the lashes of slavery, oppression, or the denial of most basic human rights upon my back? Have I lived in a culture shaped by the hatred of those who look like me? A culture based in part on distrust and fear of those who look like me, of those deputized to reinforce the myth that success looks and sounds and dresses and walks like me? These abused run as Robbie Burns's mouse, knowing my words mean little. My history says to them, run. Have I shared enforced journeys from my ancient lands, knowing that my home is burned, my spirit-filled lands of crystal streams, buffalo herds and abundant trees that provide sustenance, all acquiesce to thoughtless capitalistic destruction for the pursuit of wealth, power, and control? Have I shared in the culture shaped by the lies of deceitful promises and treaties meant to eradicate me, bury me, imprison me in the cells of what is temporarily worthless? Worthless until some lucrative discovery instigates more lives to unreserve what had been reserved, more broken promises, more hatred and fear. Have I cringed at the advances of lasciviousness, being overpowered and voiceless, closing my eyes until he was finished? Have I taken pleasure in my accomplishments only to discover that he does less and receives more than me? Has my voice been silenced at the tables of philosophy, science, letters, and leadership, only to see the destruction worked by a failed testosterone? Have I time and again heard words about how I am valued, only to have those values legally denied time after time? How many more siblings might I name? Possible siblings, ones who would never call me brother. I am no one's brother. Yet that bro word flies through thoughtlessly in so many contexts. Oh, do not pity me, for I do not deserve to be called brother by those worthy ones above, it seems, nor do I wish to be called brother by those who with malice cast those brothers and sisters aside. Yet, I hear a good man's words inviting me to sit at the table of brotherhood and sisterhood too. And I hear a good woman's voice wishing me simply, very simply with hope, good morning. And I hear the oak next to me whisper, wisdom and healing are here, come. And the blue jay in its resonant voice, learn. And the crow in its vigilant voice, look, the magic is here. And the hawk in its mindful voice, remember, your visions are sure. and the cardinal in her sweet, colorful voice. Show yourself. You are beautiful. And I hear a symphony of rock and stones and plants and unseen energies compose a question that rises to a sweet crescendo. Whose brother do you want to be? I am everyone's brother. Who will be my siblings? That's the poem that I felt very deeply with the situation the way it is in Ukraine and that part of the world, with the situation where the way it is here in the United States of America. The divisiveness, if we knew who we were at core, we would recognize that we are all one. Like so many great people who have lived and breathed the spirit of heart, they knew this truth, and they shared it. I simply join in that chorus, and I wish you healing. I wish those of the Ukraine, those Russian citizens who have been deceived and are feeling the deep effects of the actions that have been taken in order to stop the, I need to check myself here, in order to stop the ugliness of someone who thinks they can defy the rule of law and do whatever they want because they want to have the power, like Putin, like others, like some here in the United States. You don't get to do it and no happiness. I won't even say that they are wrong. What I will say is this. I know that people who live like that, who give those kinds of orders, who deceive, who seek only wealth and power and control because they think that that's their heart. It's not. It's their ego. I know that, and I can judge that much. And I can say that they will never know the higher energies of life. They will never know why they came here to enjoy all of this unless they awaken to who they are and to who you are and to who I am and I am. So until next time, I offer this to you in love and peace.